I'm telling you, don't tense up.
How am I gonna knock someone out if it's all limp?
It's not about strength or power. You gotta be fluid.
Huh?
You have to be like water. You see what I'm saying?
Not even a little bit.
In this video, I'm going to go over 7 areas in life that you might be applying excessive force in and how to make it more smooth and free-flowing like water. Watching this clip from the 90s anime Cowboy Bebop inspired me to contemplate what areas of my own life have I been tense in the past and what am I tense in now. Back in my shy and awkward days, I was under the impression that in order to succeed and do well, like school for example, I had to apply tense force and push through things. And I didn't realize that this neurotic behavior was not only making my work and life worse in general, I would actually make more progress if I was more free-flowing. For each facet of life, I will go over the duality of how you would act neurotically within each thing and acting like water. When we're rigid and very tense with our work or our schoolwork, the best way to describe it is perfectionism. This really looks like doing your work in a way where everything has to be right, it has to be perfect, you can't have any weaknesses, nothing like that at all. You might think that this is the way to go about things, this is how overachievers do their thing, but really, that's not it at all. When you try to find fault in everything and you try to be perfect, you feel shitty about yourself because you're just looking for the bad in things. And counterintuitively, your work suffers, even though you would think that trying to be perfect makes you above everyone else. But that's not it at all. You overanalyze things, you look for the bad, and you have less free time. I know this way of working really well. In school, for example, I was always like this through elementary, middle school, high school, trying to get things done, trying to get every answer correct, where I would spend hours on assignments, even on questions, when I would have gotten a good grade if I just allowed myself to be incorrect. Or even making these videos, trying to be perfect, trying to edit things perfectly, trying to script things perfectly. Doing that, it makes the work suffer, and trying to adhere to the standard, it's unrealistic, and you can never be perfect. I know like society wants to press onto us that we have to get good grades, but if you want happiness, you have to allow some mistakes sometimes. You set the intentions, you work hard, you study hard, you prepare, but you know that things might not go according to plan. Being like water with your work is possible. Yeah, so this one is definitely still fresh in my mind and I'm still working on these days and I'm not perfect with. The essence of being rigid and tense with addictions is guilting yourself. It can be easy to blame it on the substance, like say for example if someone's an alcoholic, you blame it on the alcohol. But really the root of it, and that I mentioned in the 500 days of meditation video, it's the emotional root of it. Running away from the feelings that you have deep down inside. I noticed that whenever I didn't feel so good, or I felt like there was a lot of stress going on, those are the moments when I wanted to indulge in, say, unhealthy foods, or I wanted to obsessively think about something because I don't want to deal with that emotional labor. So I understand how hard it is to break addictions. In that moment when you break it, when you guilt yourself for doing that and start talking down on yourself, oh, I'm a horrible person, oh, why can't I do this right, I'm never gonna break this, I hate myself. Right there, those words that are being said, that energy is feeding the cycle to happen again because you are creating more emotional labor to deal with that you're hurling at yourself. You're creating that neurotic war and wanting to avoid that labor that you're creating. It's gonna make it happen again and then you're gonna break it again. The best way for dealing with addictions in a way like water is without a doubt being kind to yourself and breaking that cycle of guilt. Meditation helps with this so much because when you have mindfulness throughout your day, you can catch those moments when you break the addiction and then those temptations to guilt yourself. I like to breathe, and when I do that, I can start to talk kindly to myself, say, okay, I noticed that I messed up here, I'm gonna resolve to do better next time, but I'm not gonna suffer by guilting myself. Like talking to yourself like a supportive friend that you have. It creates a bubble of wholesomeness that will allow the addiction to untangle on its own instead of you trying to do it rigidly. Now, emotions are an incredibly deep and complicated topic, but the essence here is that when you're applying too much force, that means that you're trying to push away emotions. Now this one of course is the long game because this is a part of what meditation is all about, understanding and dealing with, seeing through our emotions. For me, that was always anger and self-esteem, very repressed shame, not feeling good about myself. And when I would resist that, it would only make it stronger by doing that. To be like water with our emotions is to use labeling, a very common practice in mindfulness meditation. When you see anger, shame, guilt, resentment, you know that's not part of you. You see it and label it. Oh, anger. Oh, guilt. Oh, I thought about anger. Oh, I thought about shame. Allow it. Open yourself up. Breathe really deep and then let it come into you and act like it's your own friend. Not relying on pleasure allows this to be much easier for yourself. Body language matters more than the words we say, because body language, it evokes how we're feeling inside, and how people feel and how we make others feel matters much more than the contents and the words we're saying. Whether you're walking, you're running, you're talking, everything that you feel about yourself can be seen from others by the way you present yourself. You can see in my very first video how little eye contact I'm making, and that's indicative of how afraid I was to do this type of thing, recording videos and speaking on camera. Now, of course, I've gotten a lot better because I practiced doing this. I faced that fear. I'm looking at it. I'm embracing it. But this isn't the only thing. Of course, social anxiety as well. You can think of the camera as talking to other people. And that's why eye contact is such a big thing, because you're literally gazing into the soul of someone else. And that's absolute vulnerability. To be like water in this aspect, you have to work on each individual part, similar to what I was saying about school, where we work on each subject. There are 2 suggestions for this. Definitely self-love, being kind to yourself again, similarly to the other aspects of life. And also I would say work on your posture. This one is the most common form of body language that people talk about. And finding a good workout, finding a good exercise and stretching routine that you can do every day, it can help a lot with you just feeling better about yourself and the way you present yourself. This one is by far one of the most toxic ones there is. To act with excessive force and with too much tension is superiority and inferiority when viewing other people. Judging people by their actions so harshly, the way they look, everything that they do feeds insecurity. And the people who are most insecure inside often judge others the most. Something that I've had to learn over these years was definitely judging people based on their actions. Of course, we want to live in a better world, and the motto for this channel has always been, with great power, there must always come great responsibility. And when I would see people, say, doing something wrong, or they wouldn't be mindful, or they wouldn't do things that I value in my life, it would be very tempting to try and judge them, to put them down. Now, these people, they're so unmindful, they're this and that, just viewing them in a sense of inferiority. Or on the flip side, seeing people who did better in life and comparing myself to them, saying they're better than me. Of course, this would happen a lot on social media. It would feed so much insecurity, and it would be so tense. It would feel tense inside. It doesn't feel good to put people on different levels. It's just an illusion. And doing that and creating that separation, it's so harmful to yourself. To be like water when viewing other people is simply love, unconditional acceptance of other people, wishing the best for other people, and lowering your standards for how other people act. People are trying their best. They've dealt with so much conditioning in their lives. People are traumatized. People have problems. Nobody is perfect. I think the best way to practice this each and every day is metta meditation, which I made a video for. You can check that out. It's definitely a beautiful practice for learning acceptance and loving of other people, which in turn helps you love yourself more. You can have your values and ideals that you want to strive to live by, but knowing that perfection won't ever be there. This one's probably confusing for a lot of you. You might be thinking, meditation? Isn't that where you just do nothing? And yeah, it is. But the danger of it is that it can be turned into something where it's not like water at all. Some mistakes I've made in my past have definitely been trying to control the breath, perfectionism with trying to be mindful in everyday life, and definitely using meditation as a coping mechanism to feel better. Of course, meditation, it feels relaxing to do, but when you notice that and you use that to get rid of negative emotions that you're feeling, that's strengthening the cycle, similarly to what I was saying about guilting yourself. Meditation is about being open and accepting with the present moment, no matter what it is that you're feeling right now. To be like water is to not treat meditation like a doing action at all. You let the meditation happen to you. Let the breath happen to you. A little tip that I learned is that breathing out all the way and just letting the breath be out, the body will naturally start to breathe in naturally, and using that as a catalyst for letting things go. For a more in-depth approach to meditation, you definitely want to check out my other videos on this topic, and for a more nuanced discussion, definitely check out the Discord. Our community is there. We're always supporting each other each and every day. And if you enjoyed the video and want to join the journey as a whole, please like the video and subscribe. With great power and great responsibility, always Joe.